Welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to share with you my list for Mai's Valentine beloved archetype, and a lot of people beloved archetype, it seems from the anime, Harpie Ladies. Now Harpie Ladies is a really cool archetype that have very interesting tools and very powerful effects, although it's not super meta, but I feel it's a very fun archetype. We're going to take a look at the pure version because that's the list that I like. But before we jump right into the video, two things. First and foremost, I want to ask you in the comments down below if you want me to start basically doing reviews for new archetypes from Burst of Destiny, because I want to start doing those again. I feel like I want to do reviews again, so I'm going to start doing those before sets are getting released. And the second thing is the obvious thing, that if you want to see more videos like this, and if you enjoy the videos, please consider subscribing into the channel to see more. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Give a like if you enjoyed the video. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video itself. Alright, so jumping right into the list itself, we're going to start things off with the 3-offs Harpie Ladies first, or Harpie Monsters. We're going to start with the 3 copies of Harpie Perfumer, 3 copies of Channeler, and then, of course, the 3 copies of the OG Harpie Lady Vanilla Monster. Now, the only card here that I think people are probably questioning me about is the 3 copies of the OG Harpie Lady. There are some other options that you can run if you don't like this, which are Harpie Lady 1 that you can run 2 off, and then if you want to also 1 copy of Harpie Lady Sisters. However, I found this to be a lot better for synergy for the deck, because this card not only is easier to summon with other cards as well, such as Unexpected Die, which is making, like, you know, giving you kind of like a 4th copy of Elegant Egotist that can start your plays in a way. But it's also giving you the synergy to just be turned immediately into a Link monster, just like you know, the Teamndl Link monster, the World Chalice Dragon, that then make a Channeler into a level 7 pretty easily and getting you a dragon on the field, which is really powerful. Now, if you want specifically to run Harpie Lady 1 and Harpie Lady Sisters, go right ahead. I just don't find them to be really synergistic in the deck, especially Harpie Lady Sisters. I feel like it's just getting too much bricky in your hand, and I think Harpie Lady is just a lot better, like, you know, the original vanilla one. Now, of course, it is a little bit of a bad card if you draw into it, but it's not the worst thing in the world because you can still discard it for Channeler and other effects, so that is, again, not the worst thing in the world. Then Harpie Lady Channeler, I don't think this card needs so much introduction. Like I said, it does become a level 7 if you control a dragon. And then you also have the other ability, which is the important one, or should I say effectively the important one, is that you can discard any Harpie card and then special summon any Harpie monster from your deck except herself. So mostly the card that you're going to summon is the Perfumer, which is also by itself not a bad starter. But Harpie Perfumer also becomes better if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster. By herself, she search when normal or special summon any spell or trap that have Harpie Lady Sisters in its text. But if you have a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you're also able to search 2 instead of 1, so you're able to search another different name 1. So for example, Elegant Egotist and Harpie Feather Rest. These will be 2 very, very good examples for cards that you can search with it, which is pretty nice. Now, Perfumer, like I said, by itself, it's still a great card to start, and by itself it can be just the 1 card level 8 synchro that they have, or other things that they can do for shenanigans even by itself. But, like I said, this is mostly a card that you want to summon with a Channeler, and if you're able to trigger a Channeler effect, or should I say, like, make a Channeler level 7, it's quite more preferred, but it's not the end of the world if you're not able to do that, so do not try to pursue it that much. It's not really the most important thing in the world. Definitely a nice bonus, but it's not like the most important thing ever. But now for the rest of the Harpies. For the rest of the Harpies, first we have the double copies of Oracle, followed up by the double copies of Harpist, and then the 1 copy of Queen. These are the 3 last Harpies, or should I say 5 last Harpies that I wanted to run in the deck. I felt like a 14 names Harpie monsters is enough. Harpie Queen, basically is a discard to search the field spell, or in a simplified game states, and you have the field spell in your hand, you search the field spell, or should I say, like, you normal summon this, activate the field spell, this becomes 2100 beat stick, which is great, and it's help you sometimes, like I said, in simplified game states to deal with stuff that you're not able to deal with. If the game is very, very slow with floodgates and other things like that, it's great. So the 1 copy Harpie Queen, very, very nice card. Then the Harpist is kind of like your one of your discard fodders, I guess, like this one and another card, which is a Hysteric Sign. If you don't know what that is, we'll get to it in the spells. But the point is, this card can be discarded, and then you get to add to your hand during the end phase. Well, a Winged Beast level 4 that have 1500 or less attack from your deck, which is great. And also, this card is, when normal summon, you can get to target one Winged Beast monster you control, and one other than this card, of course, and then one face-up monster your opponent controls, and return them to the hand. So sometimes, like, in later game, like, you know, in late game, you normal summon this whilst you control, like, you know, a Harpie Lady. You normal summon this, and then you bounce monster for you and a monster for your opponent, which is nice, I guess. It's not really coming up that much, but it's still pretty good. And then Harpie Oracle is just if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie card, you get to special summon it from the hand. Again, not that hard as you might think, because of the also the Synchro monster, and because of the fact that you're able to turn Channeler into a level 7. Especially going to become better once we will get the Dragon, but for now it's not really the hardest thing in the world. And also, if this card is normal special summon during the end phase, you get to add to from your graveyard to your hand a spell trap that have Harpie Lady Sisters in its text to your hand, and it's a great card to just help you recover, because there are some games that are taking longer, so having a recovery is actually pretty nice. But that does it for the Harpie Ladies, and then for the rest of the monsters, we have first the 1 copy of the Barrier Statue, the 3 copies of Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, and then the 3 copies of Effect Veiler, which I think are the best hand traps for this deck. Effect Veiler is just a hand trap that you can activate multiple times. That's the reason why I decided to run it, because Phantasme can join to multiple copies of this, which is nice. And Phantasme also have additional synergies in the deck because of the fact that it's a dragon, it can turn Channeler into a level 7, and it can also fix your hand quite nicely, and also protect your monsters when you normal summon them and want to activate their effects, and your opponent going to activate an effect that target them. So that is pretty cool. Let's say you just being able to kind of like use your trap, turn your opponent's entire effect monsters off, and then your opponent like trying to activate an imperm they set on the field. This will still protect your Harpie Channeler, which is great. And like I said, making it into a level 7 is also pretty cool. And then this card is just summoned by your Samorg Link. And it's a great card that is very hard to get over, unless of course you have Godargla or other ways to get over it, but it's not that easy to get over it because you do have protections and other things that can defend it, and like, you know, other bouncing effects that can just like prevent your opponent from getting rid of it if you have a good hand. So it's a pretty strong card. But that does it for the monsters for the archetype. Now we'll move on, or should I say for the deck. Now we'll move on to the spells. For the spells, we have 3 copies of Hysteric Signs, 3 copies of Harpie Emergency Teleport, which is Elegant Egotist, and then 1 off of each of the following, which are Harpie Feather Duster, Harpie Feather Rest, and Hunting Grounds. These are the 9 important Harpie Lady spells, or Harpie spells. Hunting Ground is your field spells that you can search with Queen, or with, I believe, the, Perfumer. And then, unfortunately, like, you know, when a Harpie is normal or special summon, or Harpie Lady Sister and normal special summon, you get to target one. You have to basically target a spell and trap on the field and then destroy it. Unfortunately, it's mandatory and you have to do it. So if it's the only spell and trap on the field and you normal summon or special summon a Harpie or Harpie Lady Sisters, you're basically forced to destroy this. But sometimes, like, you just activate this, summon a, or should I say, like, you know, activate this, summon a Queen, and then you just destroy your opponent back row, or you summon a Queen, activate this, and then the Queen become a 2100 beat stick, which is great. Harpie Feather Rest is basically your mini pot of Avarice. You shuffle your Harpie Ladies or Harpie Lady Sisters from your graveyard into the deck, 3 of them, and then you get to draw a card. And if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you get to draw 2 cards instead. So this can become a mini pot of Avarice, or kind of like a weird, kind of like a mixture with that, with a pot of Greed, which is great. And then we have the Harpie Feather Duster, searchable card by Hysteric Signs, which is like your back row removal card for the archetype. Cool. And then we have the Emergency Teleport, like I said. Elegant Egotist is not a hard once per turn, that you can special summon a Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters from your deck, as long as you control a Harpie Lady, which is really easy because all of your other monsters count as Harpie Lady. Very cool. And then the best card in the entire deck, at least in the spell department, is Hysteric Signs. Hysteric Signs have two effects that you can only activate one of them per turn, but both of the effects are really powerful. On activation, it can add from your deck to your hand the Elegant Egotist, and if it's sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, which is the secondary effect, you get to add 3 Harpie cards during the end phase. So it's a Block Dragon during the end phase, or a Searcher for an emergency teleport. You can only pick one of the effects per turn, but it's still very, very nice to sometimes activate and then destroy it in a later turn to then get a follow-up. So sometimes you need to do these kind of things, especially if you have the field spell, because sometimes like you just use this card to search an Elegant Egotist, and then during the opponent's turn, find a way to summon another Harpie Lady, and then you just destroy this and get the search during the end phase, which is pretty nice. So I like this card quite a lot, and I think, like I said, it's the most important spell in the entire deck. And then, for the rest of the spells, well, we have additional removal, which is double copies of Twin Twisters, 1 copy of Unexpected Die, 1 copy of Swallow's Nest, Call by the Grave, Monster Reborn, Double or Nothing. These are the rest of the spells that I run in the deck. Unfortunately, I don't really have the room, or should I say the money, to spend on a Pot. Pot of Desires is also really not that good in the deck, because Pot of Desires is just banishing some of your one-offs which you don't want to banish. And the Prosperity is just too expensive, and Extravagance is just ruining your extra deck way too much for this to be actually good. So that's why I decided to not run any of the Pot cards if you're asking yourself for the spells. Now, Double or Nothing should not really be explained that much. You have the Utopia play, so you search Double or Nothing with it, the Utopia Double. Monster Reborn is an extender. Cold by the Grave is just dealing with hand traps, and then we have the other cards that help you deal with hand traps, not like good as Cold by the Grave, but sometimes I feel like I need to run additional more copies of this, is Swallow's Nest. Swallow's Nest allowing you to tribute a winged beast monster you control and special summon a winged beast monster from your deck with the same level that monster had on the field. So basically, let's say you summon Perfumer. Perfumer gets basically thrown on it an infinite permanence. You activate this, you tribute it, you summon from your deck the Channeler, and the effect still goes off, which is pretty cool. So sometimes, like I said, I want a second copy of this or even a third, but for now I'm just going with 1. And then Unexpected Die is your way to summon your original Harpie Lady from your deck, which is nice. Twin Twisters is just, like I said, another way to discard Outlet and deal with back row. Which is nice because we have the ability to trigger Hysteric Signs and Harpist really easily. And then for the last card in your deck, which is the only trap in your deck as well, 3 copies of Harpie Feather Storm. This card is absolutely bonkers. The fact that you're able to trigger this, even if you control any winged beast while it's set on the field, is nice. But you can also activate it from the hand if you control a Harpie monster. So that means that if you activate your Hysteric Signs and you control, for example, let's say a Perfumer, or even a Channeler, like let's say you even if your opponent like negate a Channeler and you just throw into the graveyard an Hysteric Sign, you're still in a very good spot because you're able to search this and shut their entire turn off, which is absolutely ridiculous. The card is insane, and even if it's get destroyed while it's set, you're able to set directly from your, or should I say, add from your deck or graveyard to your hand the Harpie Feather Duster, which making this card even more great. So I love this card. This card is absolutely ridiculous. If it's go off during the opponent's turn, you have a card that basically just say, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty easily, which is absolutely ridiculous. But that does it for the main deck. Now we'll move on into the extra deck. And for the extra deck, we have double copies of Cyber / Harpie Lady. This card is your synchro monster that you summon by using 2 Harpie Ladies, obviously 1 tuner and non-tuner, because you can trigger treat one of your Harpie Ladies then when you summon this into a tuner monster. So for example, let's say you have 2 level 4s, you make one of them become a level 4 tuner, and then this gets summoned to the field, which is pretty cool. Now the card itself also have a nice effect that's kind of like a weirdish bounce effect. But mostly the point for this card is not only the interruption, but because it's a level 5 or higher, which is really nice with things like Perfumer and other effects. Also, Perfumer by itself is a 1 card into this because you search an Elegant Egotist, you summon with Elegant Egotist a Harpie Lady, and you go into this, and that's still an interruption, even if your hand is pretty bad. So that's why I like this card quite a lot. But that does it for the Synchros. Then for the Xyz, Abyss Dweller, Chidori, Zerafine, Harpie, Pet Phantasmal Dragon, Double, Utopia, and the one copy of, unfortunately, Proxied Zeus until I'll get the card from the Megatons because I haven't got it yet. Now, the rest of the extra deck is actually pretty self-explanatory, I think, but I will explain them pretty quickly. Abyss Dweller is just Abyss Dweller. Chidori is very good in simplified game states, and it's just a good card in level 4 Winged Beast deck. Zerafine is also a great card in against things like, I guess, Virtual Worlds and other things that like you want to just turn them off immediately. Phantasmal Dragon is a great card to also just be a card that just a 6,000 attack direct damage, and it's also your card that you use most of the time to rank into Zeus. And then these two are just your OTK tools, Utopia and Utopia Double. I don't really think I need to explain these. This search your Utopia Double or Nothing, and this becomes a 10,000 that attack your opponent, which is great. And then for the links, I guess, one copy of Imduck, one copy of Barricade Blocker, one copy, unfortunately, Proxied Frigid, one copy of Pentastag, one copy of Conductor, and then the one copy of, well, the Samorg Link. Now, Imduck is the card that you turn your Harpie ladies into, like, the vanilla ones, giving you a very easy making channeler into a level 7, and a great way to just link them off immediately, which is pretty nice. Blocker is another way to trigger your Hysteric Signs by discarding it. You discard it, and you also get into your hand during the end phase if you use this effect, which is ridiculous. Frigid, which again I have to proxy because I don't have it yet, it didn't really arrive yet. Frigid is a great card because of the fact that it's, well, just really easy to let you a free special summon from hand. It's also giving you like the draw and everything. It's pretty nice card as an overall monster that's just giving you a summon from the hand. It does lock you to, the 3 beastly types, I guess, the Tri-Brigade types, but you don't really care about that because mostly you're just going to use this to special summon a monster from hand and then summon the Samorg Link, which is really, really nice. Pentastag is for your Utopia plays. This gives the Utopia the ability to pierce. Sometimes that's something that you need to do. Conductor is for some more simplified game states, or sometimes if you're a little bit brick, sometimes you make this and you find a way to bounce your Harpie lady with your Cyber / Harpie or something, and this will trigger off, which is really nice. And then Samorg is because it summons your statue directly from your deck, and sometimes even your Harpie lady cards. But that's pretty much does it for the deck profile as an overall. Alright, so for the next deck choices. For the next deck choices, I have the 3 returning options from last week, obviously, which are going to be Mutants, Toads, and the Salamangreats. And then for the 4th option is a deck that I haven't done for a while, which I'm not really 100% sure if that's super popular right now. But it's still a very, very fun deck, and that is Generator. Now, I'm going to do pure Generator without anything super crazy, but I might going to throw in the, Dingirsu combo. We'll see. The point is, these are the 4 options I'm going to share for you next week. So, like I said, these are going to be either Mutants, Toad, Peleos, or what are called Salamangreats, and then the 4th option is the decks that I haven't done for a while, Generators. So choose from these 4, whatever you would like to see. If I will be able to finally get the cards that I ordered, that I don't know why it's taking so long, then I will do the decks that I want to do for a very, very long time. But for now, these are the 4 options that we have. So hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you do. Remember, creativity is the key in this game. Have a good day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.